welcome to today's Explainer. Look, behind every single shocking story is a much deeper, much more complex reality, one that involves real people, communities, everyday choices, and long-lasting consequences. So today we're going to completely unpack the true mechanics of crime in the UK, and more importantly, we're going to give you some highly actionable practical advice on how to actually prevent it. We're cutting through the noise and focusing straight on the facts.
First things first, we kind of need to reset our expectations. When a lot of us think of crime, our minds automatically jump to those exaggerated, dramatic car chases we see in the movies. But the real-world, everyday reality, it looks very different. It's really about the daily, grinding impact it has on regular citizens, on our neighborhoods, and on the justice system. It's about everyday life.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the reality of crime. Then we'll look at the opportunity theory. After that, protecting yourself online, followed by disrupting organized crime, and finally, building safer communities.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the reality of crime.
You know, not all crime looks the same. We have the traditional offenses like theft, burglary, and assault, the ones that often involve a physical or sometimes violent element. But then look at the modern threats: fraud, cybercrime, organized crime. A lot of these offenses happen completely silently. They're pulled off through computers and online scams. And honestly, understanding these differences is the absolute first step in helping society respond more effectively.
Now, the scale of the issue is something that often surprises people. It's a classic example of the Pareto principle in action. The vast majority of the UK population will literally never commit a serious offense, yet a tiny fraction of offenders causes a wildly disproportionate impact on our communities. Understanding this concentration of activity is a game changer because it helps law enforcement direct their resources exactly where they matter the most.
Moving on to Section 2, the opportunity theory.
Criminologists talk about this formula all the time. Let me give you a quick scenario. Picture a guy named Alex walking down a city street right around dusk. Alex spots a bicycle parked outside a convenience store. There's no security chain. The owner is nowhere to be seen. In that exact moment, motivation, opportunity, and a lack of guardianship all combine. A split-second decision is made. And just like that, the bicycle is gone.
And boom, that single, seemingly minor split-second decision creates a massive ripple effect. Think about it. The victim just lost their transportation. Police time is now tied up investigating the theft, and overall insurance costs for everyone go up. Meanwhile, Alex, he now faces criminal charges, a massive hit to his future employment opportunities, and the overall trust within the community is weakened. One unlocked bike triggers long-term consequences for the whole shebang.
So, how does a theft like that actually get addressed? Well, modern policing relies on a very systematic, fact-based process that is far removed from Hollywood drama. Investigators follow a rapid, methodical sequence. They receive the reports, carefully collect evidence, review the UK's extensive CCTV footage, interview the connected individuals, and finally present those established facts to the prosecutors. The job isn't just about making dramatic arrests, it is meticulously following the evidence.
But here's the thing. While digital evidence, forensics, and CCTV are incredibly vital tools, investigations rely just as heavily on you, the public. Witness statements and community cooperation are so often the missing puzzle pieces needed to actually solve these cases. And the foundation for all of this? The fundamental rule of the justice system: absolutely every suspect is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
All right, let's shift gears to Section 3, protecting yourself online.
Here is the reality. Cybercriminals rarely hack your computer by breaking some complex matrix code. Instead, they hack your emotions. Imagine getting a terrifying text message claiming your bank account is totally frozen, ordering you to click a link immediately, or an urgent email promising some massive prize. These scams weaponize human psychology to bypass your logic and force you into a fast, impulsive decision.
Because these cybercrimes target your behavior, your absolute best defense is just your daily habits. So, here is your highly practical, everyday toolkit for staying safe online. First, use strong, unique passwords. Second, if a message seems urgent or frightening, take a breath, stop, and verify it through official channels. Third, keep your software updated so criminals can't exploit known weaknesses. And finally, just avoid clicking on unknown links. Building these fundamental online safety habits will massively reduce your risk of becoming a victim.
Next up, Section 4, disrupting organized crime.
Now, stepping back for a minute, some criminal activity is highly organized.
We're talking about shadowy networks that coordinate illegal operations purely for financial gain, and they often exploit really vulnerable people in the process. Because organized crime relies completely on secrecy to survive, defeating it requires an unbelievable amount of collaboration. It takes a massive intelligence sharing network connecting local police forces, national investigators, border authorities, and international partners. They literally have to share information seamlessly to dismantle these operations and keep the public safe.
And that brings us to our final section, building safer communities.
Look, there is no single, simple explanation for why people commit crimes. Researchers point to a highly complex web of factors. We're talking economic pressures, the social environment someone grows up in, the influence of their peers, substance misuse, a lack of legitimate opportunities, and ultimately, personal choices. Now, to be incredibly clear here, understanding these factors does not excuse the criminal actions, not at all. But understanding them allows society to intervene early and create positive pathways, things like education and mentorship, so young people have much better choices available to them.
And honestly, this brings us to one of the most important takeaways of this entire explainer. Reducing crime is not just the job of the police. Law enforcement cannot be everywhere, nor should we expect them to be. The ultimate bedrock of a safe society is community awareness. Families play a role, schools play a role, active, vigilant citizens play a huge role. You play a role.
By truly understanding the mechanics of crime, by looking way past those sensational headlines in Hollywood movies, we can clearly see how to prevent it. Because the most powerful response to crime isn't fear, it's informed action. We really don't have to live in fear. We can take accountability, we can stay vigilant, and we can actively shape the world around us.
So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. What informed action will you take today to make your digital life and your physical community safer? Whether it's finally updating that weak password you've been putting off, making sure your bicycle is locked properly, or simply paying a little more attention to your neighborhood,